Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the finest Dawn of War Soulstorm cast this side of East Yorkshire. And today we've got a free-player free-for-all on the streets of Vogan. Playing as the Tau Empire, we've got Murphys. We've got Rakiok Near Rationale playing as the Chaos Space Marines. And we have got Dritzt playing as the Necrons. So you might be thinking, Mr. Landshark, this is a three-person free-for-all, but on a six-player map, which is quite unusual, all things considered. But you know what? This game was sent into via the Discords, and it was described as a game of brothers versus cousins, a little nice family game, and I've got quite a soft spot for the old family games. I remember many, many moons ago, when I was but a wee whippersnapper, and me and my father, we would play 1 versus 1 on like 6 and 8 player maps. Just take our time, you know, throw armies at each other and see what happens. And I've watched the first little bit of this game. There's quite a lot of action to go on and forward with. But yeah, I just thought, you know what? Nice. It's a good reminder that sometimes these games aren't necessarily to be played nuts to butts, balls to walls, action all the way through. But it's about family, about fun, community, etc, etc. Amen. So yeah, so we've got 3 players on quite a large map, and there's lots to discuss about the map placement for these people at the moment. First of all, Tau are in the corner right next to the Necrons. Not exactly the best place you want to be. Ideally, these guys want to be a bit more stretched out, kind of like how the Chaos Space Marines got one half of the map to themselves, but that is the way the cookie has crumbled. Thankfully, the Tau have been spawned next to the slag deposit, which one denies the Necrons any extra green money, also allows them to make use of that space as well. Chaos obviously have the space for the slag deposit over here. There are only 2 of them on this map, but there are also a couple of relics as well. Relic next to where Chaos is, looks like they're taking the southernmost corner. And then there is another relic over here as well, close to the Necrons. Now, one advantage that the Necrons will have in this match is that they will have no limit to the amount of squad... Well, I mean, limit as in, you know, 2020, but they'll be able to get their maximum squad caps up relatively easily, considering I imagine the Chaos Space Marines won't be stretching too far forward this way, as it does seem that they're going over in this distance. And actually, I will swap over to the Chaos Space Marines just so that we can see where all their little parties are going, as it does not look like that they're going to be too aggressive in the early game, just capturing as much of the map as possible. Now, once these guys realise that they're spawned quite close to each other, there's either going to go in one of 2 ways. Either they decide to fight against each other until one of them are dead, and then it becomes basically this large 1 versus 1 scenario, or they'll think, right, okay, well, because we're quite close to each other, might be a wiser endeavour to go and team up against the Chaos Space Marines. Critical location, attempting to be captured by the stealth suit, will be shot down by the Necron Warrior squad, and now it's a 3-for-3 engagement against the Necrons and the Tau. Tau obviously got better fire weapons, but the Necrons can potentially pick themselves back up, which is exactly what this dude is doing. Only 1 Necron left. Does take him a while to rebuild themselves, and the Tau are actually just going to reinforce themselves, so the Necrons will lose here. But, yep, tied up for a little bit. They got the critical location denied for the moment, and another squad of Necron Warriors are coming in. I mean, you can throw them in for free, don't cost any money, which is another thing to take into consideration, is that the Necrons being free and such, and the Necrons also being able to basically keep their economy online indefinitely, even though there are plenty of strategic points to be had and building up and stuff. They will eventually decay, which means the economy will dissipate, but the Necrons kind of have that renewable energy on the go. They can kind of just destroy their own plasma generators and rebuild them for a fresh stack of green money. Yeah, the Tau just keeping the Necrons at bay. Good blast from the Obelisk, doing a fair bit of damage to the Fire Warrior squad. And Dritz deciding just to funnel these guys in for as long as they can. Cultists going through the middle. And it seems that, yeah, it looks like that Murphy is capping all the bits and bobs. Well, not all the bits and bobs, but the majority of the bits and bobs. And they're not building on there for reasons. Not sure why. We should really do that at some point. Maybe he's busy focusing on the micro against those Necrons, but the FCAS builders will be deaded, I guess. I mean, can you kill a machine? Turn it off at the very least. Fire Warriors will be coming back over, and they will be able to kill the cultists relatively quickly. But this assault has forced the Fire Warriors away from the centre, meaning that the Necrons can continue their expansion across this side of the map. And it does look like, actually, that the Necrons are going to be taking all of the things over here, whereas the Chaos Space Marines are busying themselves by reinforcing all their holdings on this side. So not stretching too far forward. After all, it would be quite hard to defend a large swath of land from multiple enemies, potentially. Going to get a few heavy bolter turrets in there as well, as the Tau take up into Tier 2. Tier 2 with no listening purse, with the exception of this one that you've upgraded as well. I'm sure Murphy will realise that at some point. Not to perk and prod. Remember, this is a family game. Family people. It's all good and proper. Although we will fast forward, because this game is quite a lengthy game, if you've not noticed by the time stamps and such. Necron Warrior is now going to be on the receiving end of... we're going to call him Rationale, because I don't know if I'm pronouncing those words correctly. So Rationale bringing the grenade launchers in. More Necron Warriors are funneling their way forward, but very slow. And a map this size is quite difficult to maintain a presence with such slow-moving people. This stealth suit team off in the distance got killed as they were looking for a bit of scouting. So the Chaos... oh, sorry, no, the town now know exactly where the Necrons are. And a sizable amount of Necron Warriors scaring away those cultists. They've got the Aspiring Champion. If they get the upgrade for the plasma pistols, that will help them massively against the heavy armour of the Necron Warriors. The Necron's not quite sure what they're doing at the moment. They're going a bit back and forward. Yeah, in this scenario, kind of bundle them all together. Maybe reinforce them and send them in. I mean, the Necron Lord will probably also be a really good shout at the moment. Necron Lord being the linchpin of all unit compositions for the Necrons. But at the moment, none of that nonsense going on. Just upgrading the Necron Warriors as quickly as humanly possible. A relatively cheap defense. And the Tau have gone for the vehicle beacon. All good stuff at the moment. Cultists not wanting to push in too far forward, but they are going to go for a machine pit on the front lines, which should help them form a staging platform for future aggression. They've also got a Chaos Temple over here. The stealth suit teams are doing a minuscule amount of damage. I assume you'll be getting your fusion cannons at some point. There's the Chaos Lord. Going to go for a couple of Chaos Space Marines as well. Sacrificial Circle also being built up for potentially deep striking some horror squads in there. Stealth suits are buzzing around at the moment, seeing if they can find something to attack with. With all the Chaos armies on the front lines, one sneaky squad of stealth suits can go over here. Or, I mean, they're probably just trying to find out where the Chaos Space Marine player's base actually is. But once they find it, then that'll be a bit of an issue. Let's, of course, get a couple of rhinos to ferry the men around. At the moment, the Necron Warriors are enlarging... well, not enlarging themselves, that's poor phrasing, but you know what I mean, that the squads are getting bigger. As everyone just has a bit of a Mexican standoff at the moment. Fast forwarding, just a smidgen. Chaos Sorcerer is here. And the forward motions are going forward. Necrons will be able to spot these guys with their critical location. Spawning over towards the obelisk. Maybe a potential flanking maneuver. And with the double upgrades on these Necron Warriors, the cultists are going to fall quick and fast. But a Defiler and also a squad of... well, in fact, two squads of Chaos Space Marines coming over. Necron Warriors are very quickly going to be sent back to the Sin Bin, so teleporting back towards the relic to maintain their safety. There's the centre, firmly in control for the ruinous powers. And where are the stealth suit teams? What are you up to at the moment? You're just capturing critical locations. You can play a lot more aggressively, Murphy, if you want to. Come in and destroy some bits and bobs. That's what you really want to do. Deny the economy and such. We've got one dude over here. He's going to go for some fusiony bits, which is always nice. Got to be careful of the Chaos Sorcerer with his thingy doodad, that infiltration detection. And oh dear. Oh, that was unfortunate. Spotting the stealth suit, one single heavy bolt to it, annihilates and wipes him off the face of the planet. That's sad. But they're capping things. So, even though the Chaos Space Marines in theory had the better position here, they're not exactly making the maximal use out of all their space, I guess. And now a fistful of Immortals and Necron Warriors, but still no Necron Lord. It breaks my heart to see a singular solar pulse would take offline all this firepower. Immortals will certainly do a lot of damage to the Defilers if they can stand up for much longer, but all the artillery fire is knocking them down on their backsides. One Defiler down. Forces of Chaos are too numerous, so this might require some friendly teamwork from the Town of Necrons to take on unlikely allies in such a engagement, but tough times call for tough choices. Necron Warriors going back to the defensive position of the obelisk. This is way too many dudes for them to necessarily deal with. And if I was a betting man, Rational is probably just waiting till he gets all his tech up, and then he goes for a couple, oh, well not a couple, a singular Bloodthirst at send him on in. Oh, this poor FCAS builder. Turn around now! You won't enjoy what you find here. Oh, he's actually doing... Look at him go! He got a lot further than I originally anticipated. What a hero. What a guy. Good job. Well, the siege begins. Defilers not quite hitting the obelisk, but they can be forgiven. It is artillery after all. What's the plan for you guys then? There's the Necron Lord. There's where you want to see it. I know you're building things up. No, not yet. What's your economy at the moment? Oh, it could be so much better. So much bigger and better. Oh, there's one over here. Right, there we go. So what we're gonna build one every 10-15 minutes or so. I respect that. Otherwise you'd be too strong. Well, that is that really. Stealth Suit team's just capturing what they can at the moment, and only attacking the Necrons. They are not bothering with the Chaos Space Marines at all. Going for a Barracuda as well, which would be really useful on a map this large. They've got a Recruit Squad, a couple of Fire Warriors. Do you have any patrolling... Oh, what they're called? The Marker-like people. I forget what they're called. Nope. Memory's gone. Memory's gone. It's not working. But they haven't gone for any of them at the moment. Which would be really useful if they did. Chaos also surrounded by cultists. And are they going to go in? I don't think they realise that there's no one there. You can just walk in at any point and take them on. But no, just... I like it though, you know. Rationale is trying to keep as many men as possible alive. Not sending any necessarily into their own doom. Which is a very kind thing to do for a Chaos player indeed. Yeah, quintuple Defilers. The Necrons do have the things to take them on. They've got heavy destroyers, a couple of Immortals. Some flayed ones would be really good too. Just spawn them in the middle of all these guys, force them to reposition, which then denies them the ability to fire. Oh, it's got a monolith along the way. They do have a relic. Not on the way, but like they could potentially get one if they wanted to. And the Tau just chilling out back at home, which is a very nice and fun thing to do. Indeed. Fast forwarding will continue as these Defilers look like they're dancing out in the open. And it seems that they've gone... Oh, this is the worst position for them. They've gone smack bang in the middle of the Necrons and the Tau, kind of forcing... like a bit of teamwork going on here. If the Tau decide to respond, which they may or may not, depending on how they're feeling. There go the Necrons.
I will lead our warriors.
There they are. There they move forward. And that's a beautiful thing to see. All those Chaos Space Marines now just having to stand there as the Necrons move into melee range. Why? Why for this? Who knows, but they're there now. And they're doing their own thing. Also got the heavy destroyers taking care of things as a Tau just watch from a distance. There we are. There's one way to take care of a Chaos Space Marine army. Just send them on their merry way. The father is dead. In fact, all of them are dead apart from one, which looks like he's going to go down as well. Hard to escape a heavy destroyer firing on the move. And oh, there goes the town. Ah, right, okay, they really don't like fighting the Chaos Space Marines. That's what I've learned. Who's going to charge on in? There's the Necrons. Not too bad in close combat are the Necron warriors. With a relatively quick cooldown on that John Cena beam, that does prevent the Tau from being able to fire any further. They will move forward though in quite a bold manoeuvre. And begin to fire at the Necrons. We're now going to turn their attention to the Immortals. And a broadside battlesuit setting up in the Solar Pulse, but Solar Pulse just goes in the nick of time. And this dude can absolutely annihilate vehicles from a distance. Oh, actually, oh, that's quite fun. Nightmare Shroud to scare the Tau all around. Broadside battlesuit dead. Yeah, you don't really see much use for the broadsides. Acting almost like a mobile turret for the Tau, but die very quickly. Very quickly indeed. And now the Tau are... I mean, the Rats got no army at this point now. They've lost everything. Everything to a man. And this is all the while the Chaos Space Marines with a good chunk of Khorne Berserkers start putting pressure on the Necrons. So the Necrons are now going to go back and start defending against the Chaos Space Marines. That's just a sad time for them, isn't it? But the Necrons will teleport in. They've got no bones about jumping into the middle of a melee fighting force. This is not an ideal situation for the Warriors or the Immortals. And with these three destroyers being heavy destroyers, they'll ideally want to focus on the tanks. I quite like it though, you know. Rationale went for a cultist majority fighting force. Now he's going to go for Khorne Berserkers. Predator is dead. I don't see how the Necrons are going to defend this there. Unless there's some divine intervention from the Tau Empire. They have the Pariahs, but Pariahs against this number of close combat units, I think they're going to fare well. Necrons have queued up a restored monolith, so even if they lose this relic, they will be able to get that big unit online. But even with a monolith, it's going to be a tricky scenario for them. Possessed Marines have not got their... Oh no, they do have their Flaming Mouth upgrade. I'm going to say it's kind of essential for them to have that upgrade. Pariahs losing models left and right, but another beautifully placed Cena Beam and a scary Necron Lord to maneuver these guys around. That's a really powerful ability, actually. I don't know if you need to combine the Solar Pulse and the Scary Shout. Maybe do one and then do the other. That might maximise the amount of disruption that your opponents will go up against. You know, I might not try that next time I play Dawn of War, which is probably the next, I don't know, 3 or 4 months or so. Very good. And an ideal place for your Storm Monolith is in the middle of enemy formation, just because you've got guns on all the sides to maximise their firing arcs and such. If you can keep it alive, would be a grand old idea to bring forth a, what should we call them, a squad of Builder Scarabs. There's a Demon Prince, and he's going to chase after that Necron Lord as revenge, but he'll teleport away. Although, no, he won't teleport too far away. But there we are. How are the Tau doing at the moment? They're just chilling. They're fine. They're fine. An impressive Demon Prince. But up against a lot of firepower. One common mistake that a lot of people make is to think, ah, yes, Demon Prince, or other big units, yeah, I'll just send them in solo. They'll be totally fine, but no, they die just as easily as everything else will have been focus fired by an entire enemy force. So there we go, Chaos beaten back once again. And, oh, be gentle to this Necron player. What's he done wrong? Unfair, I would say. Yeah, there we go. Send him back. I'm quasi-rooting for the Necron player at this point. Granted, in a three-man free-for-all, there's always going to be one person who's kind of in a 1 versus 2 situation. Oh, look at that. An aggressive move forward. Be really careful though that you don't end up having a dead Necron Monolith, because it goes back home with very low health, so it makes it very easy to kill a Necron player that way. Oh, there goes a... What are you going to be? You're going to be a Bloodthirster. Don't normally get to see one of you. You're going to fly on over. And there we are. Big green blast. Good heavens, that's quite a short cooldown on the old big Necron gun. But the Bloodthirster is just living the time of his life. I mean, there's no blood, but does a Necron skull count as a skull for the Skull Throne? Is it the lack of bone that makes it less than ideal? Oh, where the Storm Monolith, healthy as can be. Bloodthirster holding back the Necron forces for now, but I imagine he will be not doing that for much longer. While the Chaos Space Marine is doing, regaining your Chaos Lord, going for horrors. I suppose horrors are an idea. Stealthy stealth suit teams firing at that Monolith, and there is the Bloodthirster taken care of. Good night, sweet prince. And that will not only stop the stealth suit team from firing, that Necron Lord, but we'll spot them. But they'll run away. While gaining eye contact on the Chaos Space Marine's forward position. This little fleet of heavy destroyers, quite a dangerous thing for other vehicular units. Could probably do with a little touch-up. A little bit of repairing as the Necron conga line moves down south. Yeah, second Necron Monolith, that's what I want to see for Dritz here. Or maybe even building one further down the coast. Listing post is dead as the Monolith jumps on over. Surprise, he says, as he materialises from nothing really. So the Chaos Space Marines have lost their forward base. Their machine pit is Fubar. And might potentially also lose the Demon Pit if they're not able to hold them off for much longer. What is your army cap at the moment? Quite considerable, but... Oh, because you've got things inside of things. Right, I see. Mind you, though, the Pink Horrors, well, they will do a lot of damage to the Monolith. They're going to have to be surrounded... I mean, yeah, they will be surrounded by a lot of Necron warriors that will kill them very quickly. Both Defiler's taken care of. Chaos Proto with its twin link las cannon. We're just leapfrogging towards the forces of chaos. It's not so much a free-for-all at this point, it's more of a 1 versus 1 with occasional Tau input. Attempts to get that Demon Prince re-summoned, but they will lose this position. And all the Obliterators have now been left out in the open. Very unfortunate. It was a strong opening from Rationale here, but losing everything. Mind you, the Obliterator squad does manage to survive just by the hair on his chinny chin chin. There's a Defiler, but will not be alive for very long. But while this is going on, the tower looking like as if they're going to be a little bit of a nuisance. No, never mind. Never mind. We'll go back and we'll keep an eye on that minimap over there. Were you impressed that I noticed that? Oh, Mr. Landshark, you've got terrible map awareness. Well, watch me now a bit. Look, I've even noticed these two cultists rustling the jimmies of these Builder Scarabs. I mean, they're dead now, but I noticed it. Not a single bit of action missed, boys and girls. That's what we like to see. Well, listening posts on the relic is going to go down, and if they manage to decap this relic, then that is the Chaos Space Marines shafted for all forms of relic units, really. But horrors spawning at home. Necron warriors that will teleport back home in response. Take care of these guys. That does mean that the Necron monolith is now currently a little bit worse for wear. We've also got some stealthy stealth suit teams off over on this side. And this is just a sad day for the Necrons. But they have got their pariahs all the way down to the southern side. Now these guys at the moment, I don't think they know where the Chaos base is. I don't think they've seen it. Although they might be able to see this, although it might be because we're watching a replay as well we can see that. Not entirely sure. But more Defilers, not Defilers, sorry, Horror Squads spawning to take care of the Heavy Destroyers and the Barracudas. While getting decaps on the strategic points, Necrons have already got their maximum squad cap sizes, so it won't be a game-ending thing for them. So I've now also managed to move a little bit outside their base, which is pretty neat. And Raptors going up against Pariah. I mean, the Pariah's going to win that. Mr. Rationale. The Pariah's going to win that all day long. Turret's been turned off. And also destroyed. So there we go. Another Chaos Outpost being taken care of. The town not willing to give up on the Necrons. Are bringing the weight and strength of their army. Spotted also by a Greater Narlock. When did you have a relic? When has this been a thing? I don't know. Either way, we'll watch action first. Like I said, missing no action here. We've got monkeys, we've got Kroots, we've got big chickens. Got airplanes as well. Yeah, this is not ideal. I mean, don't get me wrong, the Necrons can't die because their HQ building is out in the open. Oh, that's a beautiful big bloofer right there, covering all the Necrons. They're trying to run away from it as best they can. Oh dear, oh dear. The Necron's about to lose all these plasma generators, but that being said, they are also expired generators, more or less. So maybe they can rebuild things down here, which is exactly what they're doing. I mean, yeah, why not? Rebuild it. The Tau can have this side of the map. That's totally fine for them. Over here, the Necron... have you died? Are you teleporting somewhere else? No, you haven't died. But it looks like that you are returning home to defend what you have on the go. Impressive firepower from the Fire Warriors. We've gone for a combination of shield drones and their chassis. The fake chicken is dead. But so too are the heavy destroyers. Like the ethereal. Bonking the generators with his staff. And a rogue chaos sorcerer. Now what's your plan? Were you going to also ruin the day of the Necrons? Demon Prince returning. See what he could do against pariahs. Pariahs, though, they don't mind fighting a large singular squad. Every swap they do slows them down. So, you know, I might just render him more or less useless by slapping him too many times. Well, they can't really get hit at him, can they? Too many AoE attacks with knockback and such. So I've now claimed the northernmost section of the map in their favour. So now actually, the map is spread out like as if it's a normal, sensible place. You've got Necrons with this stretch of land, Chaos with this stretch of land, and then obviously Tau with this little stretch of land here. So nice, even things going on. Also, one thing that Necrons can do now is if they really want to, they could build a Tomb Spider and it will just spawn here. Which is probably not what the Tau really want. Especially considering that they don't have much in the way of anti-vehicle. They've got these crew toxes, but big monkey versus big spider, I know who I'm putting my money on. See, look at that. So they've slapped him loads of times, which means that the Demon Prince is now going to... So, if you're unfamiliar, every pariah, when they hit something, slows them down, right? And that debuff basically lasts until that individual pariah that got that debuff on them is dead. It's not like just ran away. It's like, right, okay, well, you are now permanently debuffed. Forever and ever. A limp and lame Demon Prince. Don't see it often. In fact, I've never seen this before on a channel. So very good. Now the Barracuda can just be a real airborne pain in the backside. He screams in frustration before then just standing there and taking it. What's going on over here? Got some possessed marines being shot down. They should now be aware that the Necrons have vacated their old homes. And that is it. Okay, so we've reset the board essentially. So what the current economy is 45%, 45% and 90 for the Necrons. Got 122 and 79 for the Tau, and 110 and 58 for the Chaos Space Marines. Chaos Space Marines lacking the green money. They've only got those 2 plasma generators by the looks of... Oh, they've got 3. You can go for another 3. There's a maximum of 6 per HQ. And you can also build more HQs to increase that amount. Oh, how the mighty are brought low. He's dead. Dead in the water. Dead as a doorknob. DED, as they say. But a gentle chuckle. Just to remind people that he will be back. You can't kill Chaos forever. And now it looks like it might be the Tau's turn to come down and say hello to the Chaos Space Marines, but the Barracudas will probably spot the Necrons on their journey, or have been shot by the upgraded obelisk. They're rebuilding those plasma generators. Storm Monolith jumps in. So every day you get ambushed by a Monolith. But these things do happen. And they've still actually got... Yeah, so even though that Monolith is, you know, meant to be here, they've still technically got this area for themselves as well. If that Monolith dies. Listing Post having pressure being put on by the Tau. What is your squad cap at the moment, Tau? Yeah, you've got more or less a full roster of boys. You've also got the Crew Hound Pact. So you've gone for the Kion Command Post. So relying on these close combat orientated units, really. But it's good that it's got a couple of Fire Warrior squads in there. Many a time have we seen other players forget the... I say that he's forgotten his squads of melee units on the northern side. They've also not even eaten any flawless on you yet, which is a real shame. Oh no, they've just all died.
Sent us to serve.
Well, I assume to free up some squad cap space for some Croot Hounds. There we go, second squad of Croot Hounds. A sacrifice will not be in vain. This is actually quite a scary unit composition from the Tau. They've not done much this game, but they have survived. And they are ready to bring the pain to the Chaos Space Marines, who want to lose another forward position. The map used to be a sizable thing for the... Oh, right. Oh, dear, oh, dear. Well, that's... yeah. One way to turn everything on its head. Bloodthirster smacking the Cadre headquarters. And it's just pink boys. It's pink boys everywhere. Someone play the ramen rap song from Pink Guy, because this is certainly cooking up some dumplings. Got the Croot Carnivores rushing on in. Croot Shaper as well. Even the dogs are doing their best, but so much pink fire. Even the Croot are struggling to stay alive. Monkey comes over, gonna bash the Bloodthirster. Bloodthirster almost taking out that Cadre headquarters. We just need some pink guys to throw some pink balls towards them. It seems that they're all being tied up at the moment, or being distracted by something. They're just narrowly saving that Cadre headquarters. It'll be very frustrating for the Chaos Space Marines. Now also having to go up against the Greater Narlock, which is a marvellous relic hunter, if I do say so myself. Easily taking care of those guys. It was a really bold strategy, and it almost worked at killing the headquarters, but the problem with the Tau Empire is that there's no point in actually trying to rush down the headquarters, as there's no tech stored in here. All their tiered tech is stored in their other buildings, so probably that would have been a better thing to target. There we go. What action is going on behind closed doors? There is more pink guys, but they will, I assume, be dead relatively quickly. And now that the Chaos Space Marines, I assume that was your whole army, more or less. Except for what you're reinforcing. Oh no, you're just going to go for more. He's going to go for more. Right, okay. But the Necrons are knocking on his door. Also got some... Why is this area green? Oh, because I'm looking at Chaos. Never mind, mate. I know why this area is green, because it's full of Necrons. And a terrifying looking army is about to find firsthand where the Chaos Space Marines have laid themselves. That is the biggest threat for them at the moment. Also managing to save their own bits and bobs there while doing that base assault. Oh dear. Chaos being a major force in this battlefield for the majority of the battle, but for not much longer by the looks of things. Yeah, they got plenty of pink horrors, and the pink horrors will kill the monolith and the destroyers and such, but won't help you nil against the Necron warriors. Especially if that Necron Lord is knocking around with his Forbidden Archive artifacts and such. I assume at this point he's also gone for the Catan shards. There we go, there's the pink horrors. Everyone everywhere, all at once. Good lord, there's seeming to be no end for them. Unable to really get a concentrated firing formation off any of the vehicles, really. There's Demon Prince III. And the Force of Chaos are unable to really maintain their numbers. The lack of green money really letting them down, I feel. They could have loads of vehicles online at the moment, but they just don't have the money to really fund such an operation. Also considering that the pink horrors do cost a bit of green themselves to buy and reinforce. So not enough plasma generators for this green money heavy build. Monolith just doesn't know to teleport backwards. He's committing to all-out war. Demon sent back to the warp. And the last of the pink horrors are on their way out. Not sure what they are. The tower just decapping relics and such. They've got nowhere to go, these Chaos Space Marines. They've got nowhere to go at all. They've got another Demon Pit down here. The Demon Pit ain't buying in now when you've got no money. Which, pardon the double negative in that sentence there, I just heard myself speak then. The most incorrigible inflection on the old vocabulary there. Yeah, the Goose of Chaos is cooked. And while Chaos has managed to destroy all the destroyers, well, the Necromonolith being a HQ building can just build more on the fly. There they are, dead, sent back to Tier 1. That lack of HQ. And Chaos trying to do what damage it can, but there's not much damage to really do. I don't know if they know where the other base is. That's alright. Necrons exacting revenge from earlier on when they were being done in by loads of other people. The Tower Empire also doing the same to Chaos over on this side, so just when you think Chaos was about to boosh their opponents, the boosh became the booshed. Boucher, the boucherie. Now the Necrons coming in to finish off the last of the base, I assume. I can't see any more builders anywhere. Have you got a builder? You've got one here, near the tower, and one... Oh, the next street, right, so that got really confusing then. I was like, we'll change location, but not change location, but we have. So the over here, and maybe they're thinking, right, well, we've got a wall here. Tower will be able to spot us straight away. But I think they will. Barracuda's scanning the skies. And there we go, they spotted it. Right, this is Chaos done. I used to think. I also apologise for all the half yawns here. I'm not bored, I'm just really tired. As is the way I do things. Any last words? Rationale? Probably, I wish I built more plasma generators. That would have been my last words as well. A long, thick column of Necron warriors come on down. And the tower's going to leave the Barracudas to it, while pushing forward, but this is where they're going to find, or they're in contact with the Necrons, and the worst time for the Ethereal to die is when they're about to engage in glorious hand-to-hand combat with the Necrons. That is Chaos taken care of. Crew have still not eaten any of the floor. Another beautiful positioning for the Necron Lord, actually, scaring them towards the enemy. So one, it separates them a little bit. Well, also, how do you just put a... Hold on, wait a minute. You've just solar pulsed the Barracuda. Well, there we go. That's a blinding resolution for him there. Yeah, well, the Great Narlock is taking very little in the way of damage. The other tower units are definitely struggling. You can hear the whistling of the Kroots and the Kroot Carnivore, Kroot Hounds, but from where are they? Who knows? And now there's two monoliths. Which one's the real one? Let me just... The one on the right. Very hard to pick that out there. I found the Ethereal. Murphy is no longer able to make a fake version of the Great Narlock neither. Which is a bit of a problem. I wonder who would win in a fight between the fake version of whatever the Ethereal makes, the fake version of the Monolith. and what that battle would look like on paper. Well, I mean, I assume they would do no damage to themselves, but you know, it's kind of like how Uncle in the animated adventures of Jackie Chan would say that magic must defeat magic, in the same way that fake unit must defeat fake unit. Just food for thought there, boys and girls, you know. Never know. That might be the way that this game works. I don't think anyone's ever probably sent a fake dinosaur to fight a fake monolith. But there we go, Necrons out on top. And without nary but a cheer or a smile, they're going to continue their warpath. They've basically done a tour from this corner, walked all the way down here, and now they're going to go all the way this way, I assume. Well, what are the Tau doing in response? They've got some more Kroot Carnivores, a couple of Kroot Shapers, a couple of Fire Warrior teams. I suppose that's the one main problem with the Kion command post, is that, yeah, okay, you get some really strong melee units, but you also lack the really good late-game vehicular choices in the form of the Hammerheads. Which, no, not great. Not great when you want to be taking things out from a distance, and ideally, that Necron monolith is public enemy number one. This slow lumbering vehicle is what's keeping everyone on tender hooks together. We've got this destroyer over here, by those things humping, maybe? Having inappropriate contact with the monolith. Little spank just to motivate him to move forward. We've all been there. Oh dear! Why are the Necrons killing a load of their own men? Is it because they don't anticipate much in the way of vehicles here? I mean, they'd be right. And I suppose they would know this because they've seen the Kroot hounds and such. And the Krootox is a demon, so mortals might not be necessarily what they want. So what is the alternative except for more Necron warriors? Unless that is exclusively the alternative. In which case, fair enough. Briar's still here, still happy about the work that they did to the Demon Prince. At the moment, the Necrons have basically bought everything that they need to, other than obviously more plasma generators. But do they need it with this kind of economy? Current economy has been 100% and 194, compared to 275 and 78. So there. That is the economy check. Both teams having quite good stores of economic stuff. But at the moment, everyone's just chilling out. I will fast forward just a bit and see what we can see. Ah! You killed them all to rebuild them. Hold on, I'm pressing wrong buttons here. Oh, of course, yes, because... So you kill them, you build up everything else, and then you... Resurrection orbs, then get above your natural squad cap. I mean, it's risky considering that these guys are all now half health, and the Necrons don't have an equivalent to an apothecary. Not even a mechanic, really. But hey, you know, more bodies on the floor. So a very unconventional artifact selection from the Necron Lord, and I'm absolutely all here for it. Question is though, can the Tau do much about this? So they've got a replacement Narlock, they've got Monkey, they've got Bird, they've got Gun, and they've got Plane. Soon to also have Missile as well. Scouting destroyers, seeing what they can find, sniffing about the battlefield for in case of any pesky Tau counterattacks. See how fast we can go here. And there it is. Necron Monolith a little bit out on its own actually. Three Barracudas firing into its hull. And there's the damage you wanted to see earlier on. Necron Monolith going to teleport, I assume, behind everyone here. No, never mind. He's going to teleport right in the middle of everyone. No regrets, no regrets. Just boys living in the moment. It's a little while for the Necron Warriors to follow up with a attack plan, but they are now opening fire on the Fire Warriors. They've got the heavy cover. I'm not sure that's going to save them when they have got the morale broken. Right now it comes on down. And now there's the Tau army. Wipe itself once again. Oh my good heavens, which one's real? Who knows? There's a big boom around the backside of the monolith as well. Managing to do a good amount of damage to those Necron Warriors. Are funneling their way forward. Oh, which chicken is real chicken? I need to know. Ah, it's the one on this side. On the right hand side. That took a little bit for my brain to work out there. It's all this green you see, that's what confused me. Essence of Deceiver. Bring around little bits and bobs. Also a good manoeuvre for the Necrons to use their teleportations to get on top of the Storm Monolith. Which is a fake... Oh, hold on. I thought you teleport... Ah, I hate this. I always get confuzzled by what's fake and what's not. Monkey is going to punch the Necrons best he can. These Necrons are dying. Bearing in mind that the Necron Lord's also got a restored orb that he can make use of at some point in the near future. Great Narlock has been done in. And the dogs. Those poor old doggers. No morale for them. Ryan's chopping away at the flesh of that Greater Narlock. And Murphy's going to go for a fistful of broadside battleships, which let me tell you now, boys and girls, is not going to help him one bit whatsoever. They do bugger all. Never seen a useful one. If I have, I've forgotten about it. And the John Cena beams keep on coming. So the last of the dogs die. Good dogs go to heaven, but Kroot Hounds apparently get done in on the dirt. Unless Murphy can pull out some absolute bonkers tech from his back pocket, there's not much else he can do, really. He's got a squad of stealth troop teams over there. Necrons falling into the same foul trap as the Force of Chaos earlier on, where they seem to be going for the Cadre headquarters first and foremost, while allowing more Barracudas, broadside battlesuits, and Krootoxes and Kroot Hounds. I mean, it's unlikely, but you never know. They might come back. You don't even need to kill the Necrons, just scare them away and teleport them back home. And rebuild your fighting forces. No, it's just a systematic extermination. Go on, Monkey! Get involved. His demon armor helping him quite considerably. And we'll give him a punch. More Barracudas fly from the sky. No, it's not a done thing, is it? So looks like the Necrons are going to take this family feud back home. And as I said at the beginning of the game, I know that maybe some players were unusual, and I mean, I suppose it's a bit of an unusual match, but like I say, it reminds me of simpler times. Back in the day when you used to just play like locally with friends and family and such. Beautiful, innocent era before Dawn of War 2 came out, and then that was it, really. They never made a Dawn of War 3, which was really sad. There we go. That's the game. So well done to Dritz for winning this family feud. I imagine much gloating and joy was had. Oh, go on then, we'll watch this. Feral getting one more blast as he falls down dead. There we go. Fancy schmancy stuff there. Right, well, there we go. So, cheers, boys and girls, for watching at home. And if you want to support the channel, have a look at the old Patreon. £1 a month gets you once a game a week, and there's also a Discord where Discord things happen. Links in the description as always. That's been Mr. Landshark. Pleasure's always never short. And I'll see you in a bit. Peace.